Pitch to Pro is the official podcast of Ozark United FC. This will be our platform to tell our story about the club and the special place that we call home, Northwest Arkansas. This is a journey. We want to bring you along for the ride. We'll share what's going on behind the curtain, help educate the community at large about soccer, our league, and give updates on the progress of the club along the way. Together, we'll explore and unpack our journey to professional soccer, the magic that is NWA, our community, and talk all things soccer from on the pitch to behind the scenes, telling the story of our club. Pitch to Pro podcast is proudly sponsored by podcastvideos.com. Podcastvideos.com is Northwest Arkansas's premier podcast recording studio. Equipped with industry-leading equipment, the recording studio and services save you time, money, and hassle. They are dedicated to helping you create, record, and publish high-quality podcasts for your audience. Be sure to check them out today at podcastvideos.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pitch to Pro podcast. I'm your host, Wes Harris, Managing Director for Ozark United FC, Northwest Arkansas's professional soccer club, playing in the United Soccer League. Guys, I'm really excited about today's discussion. We had a big week last week here in Northwest Arkansas for soccer, and for one of our communities in particular, especially. So to help me kind of break this down is our guest today, OZFC MLS Next Technical Director, Mr. Kevin Tello. Kevin, thanks for being here with me today, man. I'm excited to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Wes. Thanks for having me.
So last week, big week for soccer and the Marshallese community in Northwest Arkansas in particular. Big week for soccer in general, but especially for those people. So remind people, what was Outrigger Challenge Cup, and give people a quick overview of what it was.
Yeah, Outrigger tournament kind of put together by kind of Lloyd and the RMI Federation to, have these first ever international matches for the Marshall Islands played. Super cool that Springdale was kind of the spot for this, because for me, growing up in Northwest Arkansas, I'm from Siloam, I would have never imagined to see, international soccer being played here, and to see, what was it, like 5 or 6 international matches here. We were able to take a part in a closed door scrimmage as well with the 19s. It was awesome. And it was, something that I saw, especially that opening game, that opening night, like so many people were there. It was awesome atmosphere. It just makes me super hopeful of like what else is to come from an event like that, and just the buzz around, like you said, soccer in general in Northwest Arkansas.
So who were the teams that we had here? Remind everybody. So we obviously had the Marshall Islands, who were the hosts, kind of organizers of the tournament.
Yeah, we had the Marshall Islands, which it was cool that they kind of formed this team and were able to compete. I saw a lot of proud Marshallese people in the community. We had the Turks and Caicos senior men's national team, and then the U.S. Virgin Islands senior men's national team. And we were fortunate enough to have our 19s get offered a spot to play in the tournament as well. So our under 19s are able to play in some games. They played against the Turks and Caicos national team, USVI national team, and then we played the closed door scrimmage with the Marshall Islands. So good atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, so to remind everybody, Guam was supposed to come. They had a schedule conflict and, maybe a month or two to go, kind of had to back out. And we were asked if we could fill a spot. That way we could get more games for these teams. And what a cool opportunity it was for those boys in the U19.
Yeah, I mean, not last minute addition. And again, for some of these boys, like when would they have ever gotten that experience to play FIFA, international football against professional players that, are doing it? Like, that's so cool. That's so huge.
And these were not their B squads.
No.
These are first team, men's national, grown men.
Yeah.
National team, FIFA recognized, FIFA nations. Some of these players are professionals. Almost all of them are professionals.
Yeah, almost all of them. Yeah, I know. Talking to some of their coaches, they did not bring in another youth level team. They brought in their guys, and I think it was cool seeing USVI kind of win the tournament. They were celebrating because it did mean something to them.
Oh yeah,
it was a huge tournament to them. So I think it was cool to kind of, number one, again, have that here, but also have our guys compete in it, and so they can see what the level looks like, especially as we kind of hopefully in the next couple of years transition into a professional academy. Hey, this is the standard and this is the level. And again, that opening day, all of our academies were there, and the kids from the U13s to the U17s saw the U19s represent, And it was awesome to get them to start making those little connections in their brain of like, hey, this is the standard once you get there.
Yeah. And I mean, the level in the matches was so good.
Awesome.
It was so
awesome.
cool.
It was awesome.
There's some big boy challenges thrown. There
were some big boy challenges. There was some big boy banter. And the guys needed to step up to the moment, and they did. You know, they led in both games with
which was wild.
Men's national teams. Like, and it's not like, oh, they got an own goal or they scored a fluke goal. Like, we earned the PKs that we got, and then Wyatt was able to score an incredible goal. Akalele's been able to score some incredible goals as well, and it was awesome to kind of lead. But then, you know, from a coaching perspective, then you see like that maturity aspect of it, right? These guys, again, they're men and they've been doing it for a while. This is their career. They're able to kind of bring the game back and then take the lead and win it, whether it was in PKs like Turks and Caicos at the end, or, you know, kind of what was it, like 2 minutes left when the SVI took the lead, and then obviously we went up to try to get the equalizer, send everyone up, and they scored the fourth. So again, all learning moments that are huge, where me now shifting gears, being a Division I coach before this, like, players don't learn those lessons until they either get minutes their freshman year of college, or, you know, later down the line once you're a sophomore and junior and you get that experience. Like, now they have it going into their senior year of high school, you know?
Yeah, and that's so cool. So, I mean, you started talking about those coaching moments and those little moments. So let's kind of break down each game that the U19s played. Let's start with, you know, we'll go in order. So we played first Turks and Caicos on Thursday night, and just kind of walk everybody through. What was the result? What did you see? Like, I know Dean and Scott were more like the on-field coaches, right? But like, I think that actually gives you a cool perspective to have been able to just like sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Right. And truly absorb and kind of analyze the game a little bit. So from your perspective.
Yeah, it was funny because I told my wife, I was like, man, I'm gonna try to sit in the stands. I just want to watch. And sure enough, I found my way on the bench, and you know, I was getting into the banter and getting up and yelling and coaching. I just couldn't help myself. But it was cool to see kind of Dean, obviously, is a really successful coach. Obviously, I know he's going to do incredible things at NWA. He's already doing incredible things for the 19s. He's having them play in the 3-5-2, which is different for most of these kids, right? They grew up playing a 4-back system, whether it's 4-3-3 or some formation in a 4 in the back. So it was cool to see them kind of start to make those connections. But, you know, like you said, when we came out, we didn't know. I was part of those pregame talks with Dean and Scott, and we didn't know. We were just like, hey, go in, go compete. You know, we were kind of like, this has never happened before, right? This has never happened here. These Arkansas kids have never seen this. Like, what do we do? And we end up taking the lead. You know, Wyatt Marksberry, incredible run down the line, gets a PK calls for us. And then, you know, Akalele Campbell is just, you know, he's a finisher, and he's able to find the net anywhere he is. And he was able to convert a PK. Game keeps going on. And same thing, Wyatt Marksberry just gets a wide, you know, breakaway and able to finish it. You know, he does it in high school all the time. He does it in club all the time. And now he's like, boom, easy transition to international stage, you know?
Yeah.
And as the game kind of carried on, this is where like the inexperience of these boys kicks in. We're leading 2-0. They're not pressing us. Okay, cool. And, you know, I'm gonna sit on the ball and chill and relax, but they're still wanting to go. Because again, for them, it's like, oh man, we're leading. Let's go get more. And we talked to them at halftime, and it was understandable for them to kind of want that, but they had to like start to understand now. It's like, at this level, it's about what do you need to do to win the game? You know, like being smart, being savvy. You know, we all see like when Mourinho was at Chelsea, and, you know, you would waste some time every now and then, and the ball boys won't give the ball. Like, those are all parts of the game, right? Like, these guys have to understand that. And I think as the game went on, Turks and Caicos was good about being, you know, a senior men's national team and chipping at what we were trying to do and building out of the back and everything. We made some young mistakes and tie it, and then we were lucky enough to, once Turks and Caicos took the lead, to again get another PK call, tie it. It was awesome to see once we scored that PK, all of our OZFC Academy, all of our fans, the Hellbenders were there, and just everyone cheering the guys on the sideline. They went over and celebrated with them. Yeah. Super cool. And then, you know, we took Turks and Caicos to PKs, and just unlucky, you know, one of our players slipped on the PK.
The turf monster got him.
Yeah, turf monster got him. And, you know, we told the guys, like, it's nothing to be upset about. You know, be proud. You know, one unlucky event kept you from winning this game, and that's part of the game. So they were super upbeat after the game. We were excited to kind of see what was going to happen on Saturday. But as we transition now to USVI, that was a hot game. That was
very hot.
That was one of the hottest games I think I've ever been a part of in my coaching career.
So hot.
So kudos to both teams, and honestly, Marshall Islands and Turks playing before us, because that was incredible.
Yes,
we didn't know how they were going to come out. Typically, there's always a slump on a second game like that. But again, the boys responded incredibly. We were leading 2-0, and I think we were leading 2-0, and then we kept it tied until like the 88th, 86th minute, something like that. Mm-hmm. Man, it was that game to me reminded me of a Division I game because of the physicality, the banter. The reffing wasn't the best, but that's neither here nor there. But it was an opportunity for the guys to see, a challenge like that. Like, where are you going to see a challenge like that playing in normal club football, normal high school soccer? Like, you're not, right? And then, again, inexperience. They sent 2 out to the corner. We only sent 1. They were able to take advantage of that, scored a beautiful goal. I just kind of took a small touch, bent it back post. And then, like I said earlier, we pushed all our numbers up trying to get the equalizer, and they were able to counter and get a 4th. But I think for me, the USVI game, it was so important for them to see, because they were like, man, these grown men are talking crap to us, and they're coming in so hard. Like,
dude, there were some major collisions in that game.
Well, like, and they were arguing too. Like, USVI was like in our face, arguing, yelling, and our guys were like, "Oh crap, what do I do?" Like,
it could be intimidating.
Yeah. And then afterwards, we all shook hands and we were fine. And that's just part of the game.
Yeah,
it's just part of the game. So
for somebody that we only have on the 19s. There's only a couple players that have graduated high school.
I think right now we only have 2.
There's only like very small. Yeah. Like, the majority of them are still in high school.
Yeah.
And to be in that type of an environment in a match, like, like, we keep saying it, but like, what an experience. And I mean, like, I'm not kidding, guys. Like, I've watched a lot of soccer, and there was one in particular, I think it was on Geo at the back.
Oh yeah.
Where they scored their first goal that should have been called a foul, but whatever, things happen, right?
Yeah, you got flipped upside down. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, bodies are just doing horizontal flat spin 360s in the air from the collision, and just absolutely pounded. Like, it was a physical, tough, like, hot match of football. Like, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience for those boys.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, obviously, they had that experience, and then they're getting ready for 2 college games. They're going to play a college on Wednesday, and then they're going to play another college on Saturday. And it's like, man, what better way to get this experience before our MLS next season than playing against, number one, older players. But I think the biggest thing is, like, players that are more experienced, that are maybe going to take advantage of some of the things that you haven't really thought about playing high school and playing club soccer. Now they're starting to understand that. And that's our goal, talking to Dean and Scott. It's like, how can we prepare these guys for the next level? Obviously, everyone that I talk to, it's like, what are our ambitions with the academy? It's like, obviously, these guys are unlucky, or they're going to be gone by the time the pro team comes. But it's like, hey, go to college. First team staff's going to, hey, these are our academy guys. They're going to keep an eye on you. You need to be ready for that. So it's, how do we get them ready for college to continue to succeed beyond that, once they graduate, or even before that, if they're an option for the first team, sweet. Or even, maybe they sign an academy contract and they're with us over the summer. We never know, but our job is to prepare these guys for when that time comes.
Yeah, for whatever that next level is for them, whether it's college, whether it's, if somehow we get our first team going, like, great. Or somehow there's another academy somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Fantastic. Yeah. We're not the only professional soccer team in America, right? Or other places, right? Like, there's, I know a couple of one of our players, at least over the summer, had a trial over in Spain in like the second division or something like that. So it's just about prepping them for that next level and helping them on a pathway and a journey. So, I do, before we jump into, that's a good segue into kind of MLS Next program, and we'll dive in. But I do just want to take a quick moment and celebrate the Marshallese community and the Marshall Islands team, because this was, I can't overstate what a moment this was, and what it did for this team and those players and the fans and the community. I mean, it was so cool to see the amount of folks, Marshallese, NWA.
Yeah.
But it's impotent. Like, there were people from all over the world that traveled in to support the Marshall Islands.
I mean, the Men in Blazers did a
Men in Blazers got a segment on it. Like, they did some social media. There's continuation of that. Like, they were in the newsletter. Like, this is a massive deal.
Yeah, it was funny because, like, I was doing what everyone does, and I was doom scrolling.
Yeah,
and like some big soccer influencers were also talking about it, you know. And I was like, man, this is so cool that it is. It's a super huge thing where, like, it's such an underrepresented community in, like, the global stage in athletics, and now they're able to have this. And not only that, man, they competed. Like, it's not like they got killed.
No,
it's not like they're losing 14-0. Like, they competed, and like, for me, I was like, man, being from Northwest Arkansas, I was proud of them. I can only imagine, like, being from the Marshall Islands and seeing your national team accomplish this, being first time ever, and then also, like, doing well. You know?
I mean, 0-4 to USVI, but that, I mean, they were, USVI by far and away was like the best team in the tournament. They deserved to win. Turks and Caicos was no slouch. Let me, like, just be like very clear. But, you know, if I had to give an edge, it was probably to USVI.
Yeah.
But so 0-4. But, like, that, it could have been,
well,
you know.
And here's the thing. Obviously,
everybody's like,
Dean was a part of their staff as well.
Yeah.
And they tried to play. Like, you could have easily, like, hey, we're going to, you know, sit in the back and just try to hope for something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they tried to play. And
they hit the post.
Good for them. You know, they wanted to play some proper soccer, and they did. And I think on Saturday we saw kind of the benefits of that because, well, it was tied, right? I got there later, but
it, I don't know that it was ever tied, but they did come back and they scored their first ever goals.
Yeah.
Like, people, again, we can't overstate, for having never ever played an 11v11 match and you're going up against senior national teams. Almost half of the Marshall Islands team had never played even 11v11 in an official match. Like, they were futsal players.
They were futsal players, yeah.
Which is just bonkers. Like, that's wild. And so to have scored from the run of play on their first goal was just nuts. And then to have done the work to get a PK to kind of bring it back and close to 3-2. And, you know, there was a questionable, you know, could have gone either way.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Like, PK call at the end where you could have even tied. Like, are you serious? So it was so unbelievably cool for me as a soccer fan and just fan of our community to have witnessed that and be a part of that and, like, say you were there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of hearing about or whatever, reading a nation's first ever, you know, official soccer match, 11v11, and we were here for that. Yeah. And we witnessed it.
I mean, there's not very many where they could say, hey, you're going to be a part of their first ever soccer team. You know, there's not many, if any. And I mean, Marshall Islands is.
Yeah. You know. And so, I mean, just all the way around, USVI, Turks and Caicos, Marshall Islands, the U19s for OZFC, every single one of them coming in, competing, doing so well, representing their countries or their teams or their communities, heads held high. Like, it was such a cool event to have here in Northwest Arkansas. It was unreal.
Yeah.
That this was happening. And hopefully, and the intent, I know, is to make this an annual thing. And I only hope it gets bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, even if obviously we're not in it anymore, like, it's going to be awesome. Like, we're going to tell our kids to continue to go and support and be a part of this because it's so awesome to have this here. I mean, it's like the Gold Cup. It's like Copa America, you know, like this is an international tournament.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's here in Northwest Arkansas, you know, in Springdale High School. Like, who would have thought of that, you know?
So cool. So again, just major shout out to the Marshallese community and the Marshall Islands Soccer Federation and all the work that they've done to get to that point. Just a massive congratulations. Huge. So moving on to MLS Next program and the U13s all the way to the U19s, you guys, you know, have done a ton of work to start this program, hold evals, start training, and start doing schedules and, like, start organizing friendlies. Like, talk everybody through. Let's take a step back. We haven't really, you know, we talked about it before eval started.
Yeah.
A lot has happened since then. So walk people through, like, let's go back to evals. What was that like? We had insane turnout. Like, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, It was awesome to see. I think I sent you the numbers the other day. I think we had about 100 kids per team, per age group come out to tryouts. And obviously I'm kind of from here, but now I left and I'm stepping back into this space, so I don't know any of the kids. But from talking to the coaches that were there helping us, it was like, man, this was like the who's who in our area. And not just that, but I mean, I think we had like 5 or 6 different states, kids at tryouts, whether it was they were planning on commuting or moving here for work, or they just heard about it. I saw 2 Memphis kids on there. I was coming from Memphis and I saw 2 Memphis kids on our registration and they were there. So it was cool to see. It was crazy. It was hectic. I did everything that we could to kind of make sure we were giving them the opportunity to eval in front of us. It was a 2-day thing, and we're hoping that we can kind of make that a little bit easier and identify maybe some talent a little bit earlier going into next year's. But it was awesome to see all the talent there. I think we had probably about 8 coaches within each age group help us kind of like sort it out. This is who we, this is who we think, this is who we think. And then we kind of moved them around to kind of have them play with each other. And then our MLS Next coaches, pick their teams from what they saw, what they needed. But after that, once we've selected our teams, obviously I respect my coaches too. They had stuff coming on, they had vacations or whatever. I was leading kind of some trainings with them in the morning, super early before it got crazy hot throughout the summer. And to say that the level surprised me would be an understatement, because I was like, oh, it's club soccer. Like, I've known it. I've seen obviously MLS Next. I've seen high level ECNLs, but like the way that these kids play surprised me, because we have some ballers in Northwest Arkansas that are techie, that are athletic, that understand the game at a high level. And now it's been super cool to see them all on the same team, where every other year they've been, opponents, right, whether it's opposing high schools or opposing clubs. Like, they've always played against each other, and now they're in the same space, getting, trainings at a high level, competing against each other. We keep talking about like these hard tackles at these games. Like, we see them in training, hard tackles that are trying to make each other better. And it's been awesome to see. But that was kind of our summer. It's like kind of me leading sessions, getting a better picture of all the players, building relationships with the parents, with them, and kind of building the trust. Because at the end of the day, we're a brand new club. It's hard to start a club from the ground up, and we want to do it the right way. And we want to tell the parents and the players that, everything that they need to benefit, it's not just our way. There's not just one way to get there. Like, if you need private training, there's private training. If you need, a different club, then there's a different club, because that was some of the conversations during tryouts as well. As like, oh, well, we don't know if it's a good fit, then cool. This isn't for everyone. What we're trying to do isn't for everyone. It's for a specific unique need in Northwest Arkansas that everyone knows is needed. MLS Next is needed in Northwest Arkansas because it's hard to find high level games. And now we're in a division and a conference where we're guaranteed 50% home games. So we're not having to travel everywhere and be crazy and spend all this money. It's, hey, 50% of our time is going to be at home, which is awesome.
Yeah. I think that's so cool too. And you hit on something, and I want to just reiterate and kind of talk about it. There's kids from everywhere. Not just the tryouts, but also like that made the team.
Oh yeah.
Like, we talked about on our U19s alone, there are 12 high schools represented on a roster that's just over 20.
Yeah, I think we're
like
22. Yeah.
That's nuts. It's truly representative. Like, this is like, yeah, you may have one team or age group that over indexes from a certain club. Like, guys, we had players from over 24 clubs, and I'm including rec in that.
Yeah.
That tried out, and I think it's 16 clubs represented in actual rosters. That's incredible.
Yeah, and you talk about rec. We had some players that had never played club soccer that made teams.
Yeah,
that were just,
which is so cool, by the way.
Yeah, that they came out and they just killed it. They killed it against these kids that had been playing club their whole life or whatever. And man, this is what this is. Let's go find these kids that need this
and provide the pathway and the opportunity.
Right? You keep talking about it. Provide that opportunity for them. And obviously with that, we have scholarships and things like that make this affordable for everyone. But it was so cool to see that, because for me, that was me. I grew up playing rec. you know, and then I went on to play college soccer, and then now, you know, I went and coached Division I, but it was like, I would have never imagined something like this being in the area where it's like high level training, high level environment for everyone. You know, it's not just who can afford it. It's for everyone.
For everyone. Absolutely. So we have gotten into some, you know, we did the optional trainings, which almost everybody showed up if they really down. It just shows the commitment and how hungry these players are.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let me do this. I'll have like 15, you know, guys, it'll be easy. And there was days I had 40, 45. And I was like, holy crap, how do I run a session? But it was awesome. It was good to see them be committed because they want this, you know?
And now we're starting to get into some friendlies.
Yeah.
And so talk a little bit about like the process of kind of preseason and, you know, what you guys are doing, feeling, looking for season upcoming with our first season at MLS Next.
Yeah, we have some friendlies coming up. The U19s and U17s both have friendlies against some universities coming up, which will be good. Obviously, with the U17s, it's cool because typically you don't see a college friendly until your senior year.
Yeah.
And then, you know, me talking to my college buddies, sometimes that's too late. You know, it's too late for them to get that experience and get that exposure or even that recruitability. For our younger age groups, it was super cool because the Heartland, which is the MLS Next conference just north of us, they were like, hey, we want to host something where we play against you guys play against it. So we're coming together on this Saturday, the 23rd, to kind of play that.
Okay.
So we're going to get some good games against that. And then our 16s and 15s, you're talking to different local clubs and ECNL teams to kind of get these scrimmages in either during the week, during training times, or on Saturdays. I know they're going down to Little Rock. The 15s are on Saturday. Shout out Little Rock. You know, I used to coach for the Rangers. So it's cool to have that connection there. But again, we just want to get some good competition, some high-level competition before we transition into our MLS Next regular season start of September.
Awesome. So who are some of the teams that are in our conference? Again, MLS Next, second tier or new competition tier. Have they officially announced the name? Can we say it?
We can say it because I've seen it everywhere. MLS Next hasn't made a post about it, but they have transitioned to two divisions, the homegrown division and the academy division. Homegrown is the MLS academies and some of the blue chips in MLS Next. And then the academy division is kind of the way that I step into these meetings with MLS Next. It's kind of what we talk about. They want to make soccer for everyone. So they want to make MLS Next for everyone. So they've branched out to a ton of different clubs like us that are new into this space, or that maybe in some different regions that are tough to get high-level games. We have a long list of technical standards that we have to maintain and keep in order to keep our MLS Next standing. But for us, teams that are in our conference, it's Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas teams, Austin teams, Houston teams, and then there's a team in Baton Rouge. So it's kind of regional, but still there's some travel to our scheduling. The MLS is going to have a regional tournament between us and, again, the conference just north of us. That's sometime in our regular season. They haven't announced dates yet. What's been super cool to hear them kind of speak about their reason for the academy division is with the younger age groups, they want to really emphasize the recruiting aspect of it for MLS academies. So they're going to do an event Columbus Day weekend in some MLS facility, and they're going to invite 50 players from each age group to come to those kind of a combine. So it depends how well you do as these scouts come to our academy division games, but also they're working on like different ways for the players to record themselves, doing different drills, send that to kind of a specific app that they want us to download. And then from there, these scouts will have the ability to look at them and make their decisions from there. So again, a lot of really cool exposure for our younger age groups. And, you know, for us, seeing how we've been training, you know, we're hopeful that we'll be able to form really competitive teams within this new division as well.
That's awesome. So actual season starts in September. I know that we are going to have, you know, a good amount of games, and we will post the games. I promise. Kevin can attest, there's things that get moved and shifted. And so we want to feel like we have things in a good spot before we post out what the schedule is going to be. But we will make sure and shout loud and proud and post about when and where games are going to be here in NWA. But it should be that first weekend in September, I think.
September 6th is our first game. The month of September, we're home. The month of October, we're away. And then the rest of the November, December, we're home. So super cool. So again, 50-50. Awesome the way they did it. We have a couple games in January as well. But again, for me, it's like everything I've heard is like, man, it's so hard to find good games. You're going to have to travel everywhere, all this. And then here we are, just 50%. You know, it's super cool. The first games are going to be, right now, I can say that they're going to be in Siloam. We just want to make this kind of more accessible to everyone to come watch MLS Next. Silent Springs FC and the Silent Springs Chamber of Commerce have been awesome about kind of letting us use their facilities, letting us use their field space. So we'll spend that weekend over there. That's also the weekend we're playing the Oklahoma teams. So we kind of wanted to, you know, throw them a bone a little bit and make it a little bit easier travel for them. They're looking at doing the same for us, whether it's just outside of Tulsa or maybe a little bit outside of Oklahoma City for us to not have to travel as far. But they're going to be at Cedar Creek, right behind Silent Springs High School. And then we're looking at maybe using Silent Springs High School Stadium for some of the games as well.
That's super cool. So any kind of, I guess it would vary by coach or team and just where they're at, as well as age group, right? But if you could kind of break down for everybody what you guys are thinking about, like goals for the season. And I know that is a very open-ended and crazy rabbit hole question, or could be.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about that as you guys are going into the first season. Like, what are you guys talking about as coaches? Like, what does success look like?
Success looks like, I can tell you right now, for probably the 3 oldest age groups, it's we want to win. You know, we're at that point in their careers where can we compete? Can we win? You know, yes, we want to continue to develop them. Yes, we want them to get better at the game and stuff. But can we go into these games? Can we compete? You know, we feel like with the 3 oldest age groups, we're in a good position to, you know, compete within MLS Next. Again, with the players that have come, that have joined us and everything. With the 3 younger age groups, our main goal is the development side. When we talk goals, it's what exposure can we get these players? Obviously, we're not, you know, we're not selling them a dream of like, oh, if you play for us, we're going to send you to an MLS Academy. That's not what we're doing. But we want to give them that exposure. You know, we want you guys to understand as a U13, U14, U15, this is the pathway. This is what you need to do. These are the steps.
These are the standards. This is the level.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what it's like.
This is what it looks like. You know, it was funny. My 14s had a game on Saturday, and I made a scout on the opponent, and they like, I sent it to them, and they were like, never seen a scout before.
Yeah, but
you know, what is this? You know, what do you mean? I need to know what their kickoff routine looks like. They have a kickoff routine, like, and I was like, yeah, like these are the things we need to talk about and understand. So for them, it's like, how can we prepare them for what's next? Whether it is, you know, for us, it's like it could be a tier 1 MLS Next that's not an MLS affiliate, or it could be an MLS Academy. You know, we want to bring those players and promote them as much as possible in that space. And I think our goal is like, hey, can we just like start those conversations, whether it's with Kansas City, Atlanta United, Nashville, of 1 or 2 of our players. For us, that's a successful fall. You know, that's a successful season. That's our goal right now.
No, it's so cool. It is building pathways, providing opportunities. That's it, man. That's all we're here to try to do. Elevate the game, grow the game, build pathways, provide opportunities.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm super excited for how the scheduling turned out, because I know that like there was a lot of questions in the air with that. It could have been, there was some talk about some neutral site game, but I'm at least, knock on wood, like excited for at least how it's starting to look to shake out, which is really, really cool and fun for the community, families, fans, and I can't wait to be out at the first home match weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Again, that for us, it's a little rivalry with Tulsa, so I think it's gonna be awesome to kind of finally see those teams play each other.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously we know the staff over there, they know us, they know our guys, we know their guys, like super cool. First weekend, and obviously we work really well with the guys over there as well. So, and I'm from Siloam, so what better way to start than what's next? So.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate your insights, and you know, thanks again for everything that you're doing and helping to everything that we said, grow the game, elevate the game. provide that pathway, help, elevate the coaching experience and in Northwest Arkansas, and for everything that you did in help for Outrigger Cup, and everything that went down there. That was so cool, again, to see and be a part of.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to my staff, those guys, Thomas, Christian, Wayne, TJ, Scott, Dean, Julio, like everyone that was out there, put it in on a shift, like Casey was out there on Saturday trying to cover for people and around, like it was super cool for me to see of like, we talk about unifying and everything, and like the players need to support each other, but like my staff's super awesome about supporting each other.
That was the other thing too, real quick. Like I want to give a shout out to the staff, coaching staff at OZFC. Guys, there was like 7 or 8, 9 coaches on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think at one point. Yeah, I don't think we were all on the roster, but they were all just like, man, I want to help. How do I help? So Dean had some different guys, had different jobs, whether it was like set pieces or whatever, like, lead warm-ups,
which was so cool.
Yeah.
Like super easy, right? For coaches to just be like, oh, I'm going to bring my team and support. And like, that would have been a check the box and great.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, it just tells me how excited, and ready people are to just jump in head first. And like, how can I help? Where can I go?
Well, exactly. Like that's all I heard from the coaches this week with Outrigger. It's like, what do you need? How can I help? Mm-hmm. What do you need? And I was like, dude, sweet. Like, that's what our players need to do on the field now.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, just a massive shout out to everybody, OZFC, Marshall Islands, USVI, Turks and Caicos, Springdale High School, big shout out, like massive for hosting, Mount Sequoia, anybody else that was involved that I'm forgetting, like incredible week. So I'm just super fortunate to have been able to be a part of it and be here in some small way. So that'll do it for this episode of Pitch to Pro. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to catch all of our episodes on pitchtopro.com or look for Pitch to Pro on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts for more content. Until next time, cheers, Northwest Arkansas.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Pitch to Pro podcast. Be sure to tune in again in 2 weeks for the next installment. And check out the Stoppage Time series for a recap of today's episode. Be sure to find us at Pitch to Pro on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you get your podcasts. Until next time, Northwest Arkansas, cheers.